I'm fine. I'm fine.
That we stand together with one another in prayer and support. When Jesus was facing the daunting task of taking the sin of the world upon him, he did that with support. He went to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. He was in the habit of communing with the Father and you was there. But he also asked three of his disciples to come around with him and to also watch and pray. And in all of that time, you know, he kept going back to kind of check on them, and he was hoping that they were standing with him and watching and in prayer for themselves, but also he wanted somebody with him. You know, he went off by himself a lot to pray. This time he asked three disciples to come along and watch and pray too. And we need each other to stand with each other and to watch and pray with each other when we go through hard things. And none of us will ever have to do anything as daunting as things in the world, but we all have hard things that we go through and times that are difficult. And let's take a page from what Jesus did, which was he went to the Father and communed with him and poured out his heart in honesty about how he felt about it all. You know, he didn't feel like doing what he was about to do. He did it for what it was going to accomplish. He kept his purpose before him. And we have to keep our purpose before us. We have to go to the Father and pour out our hearts and be honest about how we feel. Because sometimes, you know, we just don't want to do this. Sometimes we just don't. But in communing with the Father and keeping the purpose in view, this part right here, he knew, you know, we think we want to know what's coming. Not really. But he did know. Being God, he knew what was coming. And that made it harder, I think. But in all of that, he kept his purpose before him. And we, each one of us, always have a purpose in the Lord. Every day, you have a purpose in the Lord. And it's unique to you and unique to that day. But the purpose that he has called you to, hold that before your thoughts. Don't get so immersed in, let's try not to, we all do, get so immersed in the junk that you got to deal with, that we lose sight of the purpose that we're called to. And let's reach out to the Father in honesty and draw strength from him. And let us be there to stand with one another when it's really hard. Let us be those that pray for each other. And let us be the kind of people that somebody can be honest with and still they're loved and respected after they told you what they're struggling with. You still love them and respect them and preserve their dignity in it all. Because we need that. And if Jesus, the Lord of glory, God incarnate, felt the need for some support, you know, and so I think that, I don't know how many of you grew up this way, but I grew up being very independent. Take care of everything yourself. Don't ask anybody for anything. Just handle it.
Yeah.
And in this walk with the Lord, God has called us to be there for each other. Not that we're supposed to be a bunch of dependent wimps, but we do need each other. We do need each other, especially when we are facing difficult trials. And so let us remember as we're in this season that even the Lord of glory, who is the Word incarnate, spent time communing with the Father and talking about how he felt about some stuff he was about to have to go through and asking for the support of his friends. And so we are given both the permission and I think the example of that. Amen? Amen. Okay, if you will turn to your bulletins, we will